In one of the majestic documents, there's a mention of the Missouri 41 crash, and Stan Friedman had heard about this case from Reverend Huffman, and Reverend Huffman was a Baptist minister in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and he was called to give blessings to 3 dead, allegedly cloned aliens that looked identical. So he was driven in a squad car about 15 minutes out of town. And he was driven out of town into a field, and there was sort of an acorn crashed, burnt saucer and 3 dead aliens. Crash retrievals are one of the toughest things. I mean, the government and the MJ-12 and the control group, this is one of our primary missions.
Yeah.
Is it crashes, it lands. I don't care what country it's in. We see it come in. We're in there as fast as possible, recovering the stuff. And until you show up with, a few tanks and armed guards saying it's Bolivia's,
good luck with that.
Right. Or actually, one of the cases in Mexico, the federales were there, but it was the story goes that the Navy SEALs or the Special Forces just killed him.
Just killed him.
Just killed him. Yeah.
Not even the cartels got there
first. This is some of the work from Noe Torres and Ruben Uriarte in their book.
Can you explain this one? I need to know more.
I think it's the Comey case. I have to look at the book to see the actual date. But it was it's a crash in Mexico. The federales get there and are transporting it away, and the U.S. government team shows up and wants it and basically takes it, and they kill the people. So it's sort of blue on blue or blue on,
They killed him.
They killed him and took the stuff.
Not Chihuahua, Mexico.
No, I think
it wouldn't be it. I'm looking through your
Chihuahua,
table of contents here.
Yeah, it's we can find it.
But the SEALs came in.
Well, I don't know if it was SEALs or Special Forces or somebody,
and we whacked them.
Yeah, whacked them. That's the report from other researchers, not me per se. I think Ruben Uriarte and Noe Torres wrote a whole book on this particular Mexican Roswell, the Mexican Roswell.
Yeah.
There was a History Channel special.
Chihuahua. That's what it is.
It's the History Channel special that actually I was in. You can probably still find it.
Can we pull that up? Chihuahua. I have it over here, Leslie, but that's not on the screen. Chihuahua, Mexico UFO. Let's see what Wikipedia tries to tell us. This one is. Again, I'll let you respond. But that would be kind of wild to me. I guess I wouldn't put it past us to go in there. Type in, go to UFO sightings in Mexico, the third one. Let's do that. Okay, so 1974, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So according to ufologists, local residents reported a mid-air collision between a UFO and a small airplane near the town of Coyame.
Yeah.
On August 25th, 1974, followed by a military investigation and cover-up. However, historians say that such UFO reports were likely prompted by the 1974 crash and military recovery of a Cessna aircraft involved in drug trafficking. Don't you love it when the cartels get in the middle of UFOs?
That's right. Well, that's a good cover story to me.
Yeah, well, it's a great listen. My buddy Paul Rosalie lives in the Amazon, and there's a lot of these uncontacted tribes there. And so, he was trying to freak me out about all that when I was down there with him. But one of the things he was explaining to me is that, like when you see planes fly over where they are smack in the middle of the Amazon, like just over the canopy, he's like, obviously those aren't commercial jets. These are what we call narco traffickers. Yeah. And the fucking uncontacted tribes look at them and they think they're boxes in the sky sent by God.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, so to them it's a UFO. So I see a little tie here.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one example of deaths associated with ufology or crash retrievals. I dedicate the book to those that have lost their lives to UFO secrecy. And there's the Sandia Engineering District technicians in 47 that went out to Roswell to handle the bodies, and they several of them died of profuse bleeding in the nose and mouth. from handling the bodies. They're going out with their best hazmat suit of that era to pick them up and put them in the sort of caskets, so to speak, and ship them off. And I think that was the first tip-off that, oh my goodness, these things are potential biological weapons. And that continues on. And that's one of the impetus for my dad's book, Alien Viruses that he did. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a species that's coming from another dimension at the very least, or a different place, of course they have a total different. I mean, it's common sense. They have a different biology, and I mean, biology is the most dangerous thing that exists on this planet. So why wouldn't it be dangerous from somewhere else?
Yeah,
for sure. What was the thing in? I want to say it was 1939. Senator Cardell, something like that. He in DC. I probably have that wrong. Maybe it started with an S. I forget. But it was definitely with a C or an H. H. But he allegedly in the basement of the Capitol saw a few alien bodies or something like that. They were like alien parts existed in vials of formaldehyde.
I think I've heard that story, but I don't have any deeper knowledge than you do about it.
Yeah, when I hear stuff like that, because then I would think that guy would have written like a whole memoir on it or something.
Well, there's lots. He may have. I mean, has anybody gone to look for his files? I mean, I want to go to Las Vegas to Harry Reid's archives and go through that. I mean, he's got to have a lot of information there that's, there's lots of subtle clues. There's no smoking guns, but there's circumstantial and supportive evidence everywhere that could be brought forth.
Do you think some of that, and I ask this of a lot of different guys sitting in that seat you're in right now when we're talking about this, do you think some of that is that these civilizations could simulate it ahead of time? And in English, what I mean by that is if you are either one, an extremely advanced extraterrestrial species from far away that far exceeds our abilities here, or future humans from way in the future who far exceed our abilities here and have insane powers to, distort time, whatever it may be. Couldn't you simulate not crashing? Or simulate, who, if I'm going to be seen, only these kids in the woods are going to see me and no one else is going to see me, so no one will believe them. Couldn't you do that as your own type of experiment? Because you would hypothetically be so far advanced and perfect, and I'm using my imagination here because I don't know what that would fully consist of, but you'd be so far ahead and perfect that you don't make mistakes as simple as what to us would be a plane crash. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly, abductions of the mind or real abductions is pretty stealthy, and there's no evidence. But people ask, and senators and congressmen ask, well, I'm from Missouri. Why in the hell would these crash? Why? How can they be so advanced as to screw up so badly and land on planet Earth? And so, as David Grush has mentioned in his testimony, there's a certain percentage of events that end in mission failure.
Even for them, though.
Even for them.
That's what I'd ask him.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that we value human life, and they may not. And so these very well could be more disposable cyber AI clones or biological clones that are just exploring the galaxy. It's more efficient to do a biological thing than a mechanical thing,
right?
Because and then there's the potential for weird natural phenomenon, like a good negative lightning bolt is 10x a positive lightning bolt, the most common type. And New Mexico desert is notorious for lightning. And so that may not have been prepared for that, or maybe overwhelmed their navigation systems, or the testimony of Colonel Corso in his book, The Day After Roswell, where he said,
EMP?
No, turn off the radar. Let me, he had an interaction with an alien and said, please turn off the radar so I can leave. And Yeah, that's actually may do a better job of explaining it.
Yeah, that sounded wild.
Yeah.
That was real casual. He had an interaction with an alien, said, please, turn on
Yeah,
the radio.
right. So in his book, The Day After Roswell, he highlights an interaction that he had. It was, he had his radar operating, and I think he was in a mine or a cave, and an alien appeared, and he said, "Friend or foe?" And a typical military guy, and the alien said, "Neither."
Ooh.
And then he asked, "Well, what's in it for me?" or something like that. And he said, "A better world if you can." He said, the alien said, "Can you turn off the radar so I can leave?" And he said, "Well, what's in it for me?" And the alien responded, "A better world if you can take it." Words to those effect. I don't think I got the quote exactly right, but it's in his book.
Speaking the language.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know if he mentally heard it in his mind or actually verbally, waves or so forth, but that's in the book, The Day After Roswell. But, Colonel Corso is very interesting as being, hey, firsthand witness, Army, reverse engineering. You can find his documents in the National Archives. His claim was that we were reverse engineering integrated circuits and fiber optics and integrated circuit. Night vision goggles was the other claim. But there's many other technologies that allegedly have been reverse engineered.
Yeah, how Putoff speculates it was EMP. And if I get him in here somehow, I'd love to get him to really expand upon that. But he's like, we were fucking around with EMP or something, and something in the physics of their anti-gravity craft couldn't handle that. And
no, it's very credible theory, be it radar or EMP or, electromagnetic radiation and weird. I mean, if you were to take a radar from 1947 and do a spectral analysis of it, it would be extremely different than what's on the F-16 that's operating today.
For sure.
Yeah. So it may be something to do. I mean, it was an analog thing back then. It's a digital thing now. So it's just a different thing. So that was the little sidebar on why they crashed. So, and then we try to shoot them down with SAMs and for, anti-aircraft fire or deliberate seeding of kindergarten planets is another thing. Hey, we know how this thing happens for planet Earth. When they explode a nuke, we have to dump some tech on them, because when we do that, then they focus more on education. They try to figure out gravity control, and they work hard. They can't succeed. And they advance their technological curve, and they eventually uplift their society into a more stable environment that allows them to join the galactic kindergarten.
Watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here